All right, it's your boy Kamal Hart on the chart, and I'm going bar by, you guessed it, bar. So, starting off the day, big bull trend, really almost like two breakout bull legs. Um, we put them together, kind of a tight channel, possible channel overextension, but if we double it down, I'm sure that gets us pretty close to a midline. Somewhere in there. Um, it's not so relevant right now. For whatever case, we got the breakout. A really weak attempt to make a retest of those highs. So I'm really looking at this as kind of like a range, um, possibly from up here. Probably seeing that. Could be some highs here. Um, Not sure. But whatever the case, we're going to try and sell. We're going to try and buy on the lower side, sell on the higher side. Same as always. Um, so as we look at this price action, you can see there's actually another micro congestion between these three bars just off there. Um, I actually see a trade that I I I would have taken right there, like a failed second entry, but it's on the wrong side of the of our range, um, and that's unfortunate. So let's see what happens when we play this out. To get a nice little push. Yeah, it's part of that short I was talking about right there. Um, Here's that first break above. So we're pulling back to this range. Let's see what it does. Pulling back. Don't tick below, and no tick below there either. Doesn't really look like we get that higher low like we would like. We can give this a trend channel though. Yeah, see, we're not even breaking below on any of these bars, making it pretty tough to enter. And now that we're back on this side, um, I'm probably not as down to go long anymore. Yeah, probably not as down to go long now. So this is just the first entry short. Let's see if we actually touch this line or these highs and see what happens. See how it just one tick below, then broke above. It's expected. And I'm starting to get that stack up here. That's a good sign. Here's the failed second entry short, but we're at the highs of our range. I think that's going to be too aggressive to go long right there. And you can see that it doesn't actually trigger anything. In fact, probably would have got stopped out. So we're still back at these highs. We want to go short, but it's, officially that's a breakout pullback. So I want to just, that's going to be a little bit hard to chart. You might do it like that and then got to really see off this high side. I think it fits okay off the high side. So we could be looking at a channel like this. Um, and so like right there, that's another higher low. I'm not taking higher low trades, but one thing to note is that we're definitely moving sideways. So I'm not going to buy the breakout up there. And it doesn't even break out, so saves you the trouble. Now you're getting a pullback. So on this bar right here, this is a lower high. This is an okay trade to me, given that we're using the range as our context. We're expecting a test on this side. We have this channel. I often ignore the channel at the top of ranges. Um, Another thing to note is that there is some congestion going on with this bar being inside of that bar, which is inside of that bar. So, I in session am not taking these trades anymore. I think it's aggressive just because of the congestion. I'm not too pressed about this trend going up. I'm more pressed about the just the congestion right through there. But there are a few more reasons to enter than exit. So, or there are a few more reasons to enter than not. So, I would, I could see someone being aggressive. So let me just make this green. I could see someone being aggressive and wanting to take that. Um, so let's see how that one does. And that one gets stopped out. Um, that's just back to the sideways sort of thing going on there, especially when this bar closed as a doji. That for sure kind of let you know that there's some sideways stuff going on. Now, the key of always isn't really if the trade wins or loses. The key is, did you manage the trade correctly? So if you would have entered on this doji bar, you would have been out 2 ticks above it. So at 33, 34, 25. You might even tighten that, because if we make this tick, we're probably going to test these highs and then go on to test 1 tick above the signal bar. So you could have even entered a little or exited a little earlier than that, but regardless, this high or low, and purely because of that congestion, that's what makes me feel it's aggressive. But um, you know, so that one wouldn't have worked. Um, and in fact, we're kind of retesting the highs, which I typically ignore, but lately it's been actually breaking and retesting in the range. I think a key for next time is going to be, if we have this uh, trend at the highs of a range or the lows of a range, before we ignore, before we start taking those counter trend trades like this one was, we should maybe wait for a reversal pattern. So maybe something to do for next time. So you get that big red bar there. That's a second entry short to these lows, but this becomes your signal bar. It's not a great signal bar, and it didn't really close near where the stop entries would be. So maybe you could enter on a limit back in here. I don't think I would. I would just probably skip it, unfortunately. Um, but that's there. See, that one gives you a kind of like a good push. And you would have gotten filled on that limit order all the way back until, there. So let's put it like this. This is aggressive. Um, on someone else's chart, like if this signal bar was better or that trigger bar was better, it would have been an entry, but it wasn't on my chart. So it's aggressive. And what I mean here is I'm saying that I would not have entered on a limit here. I would have had to enter on a limit at least 1 tick back, and you would have gotten filled all the way back, but at least 1 tick back. So that's there. And you can see this is a pretty strong bear breakout trend, which we had the kind of like 2 legs to a new high, tried to make a new high, and we were above the EMA, closed below the EMA, and moved past previous swings. So for all that, we can throw a line on that. Um, we got to remember that we're still in this range of sorts, so we need to be careful where we go short. Even with the trend line in play, we can still be a little aggressive taking any short. And even that, you see how it just touched it 1 tick and then bounced. That in of itself can be enough to cause the reversal. So let's see how this range holds. So if this breaks below, that's just our first entry to the low. It's just a lower high, but it sets up on the lower side of the range, so it's a skip. And then if it breaks below here, that's a second entry, but once again, it's on the lower side of the range. It's not even a good signal bar. And for the most part, prices are going sideways. So it's not even a good setup going short right there. It breaks out, pulls right back, and we're just kind of trading in this little range, so we got to wait for a better setup. Okay, we got the breakout to the high side, and see what I mean? We touched this lower side by one tick, and the next touch was back on the high side. So something to be aware of. And there's a reversal pattern. Not quite. There's no real reversal pattern yet. But we're definitely trending in the other direction. I would definitely give this tight channel some respect. Just through there. Put something on the high side, so we can see if it breaks out the high side. Right there's the first entry short at previous highs. That could be a good setup. Maybe when we get that lower high, that'd even be a second entry short on the lower high. So we're getting that break outside. Let's see if we retest and it fails. It tried to retest and it kind of reverses. Once again, we're back to this idea of the 3-bar congestion area and going short on the breakout. Depending on your risk tolerance and how many trades per day you're taking, you might risk this one. I just don't like how it's going sideways like that. That's not usually a good sign. And you can see right there. So right there on this bar, when this bar closes in that range, I'm trying to scratch this either at break even, probably break even. Break even plus one is going to be aggressive. See if you get a break even, and you don't. You wouldn't have even got the break even. So that's just something to keep in mind, is that when you see that 3-bar congestion area, I wouldn't buy or sell any of the breakouts. I'd wait for a setup on the highs and go short, or set up on the lows and go long. Kind of like what this is. Set up on the highs, and you can see how the shorter term trend plays out, because we get 2 legs outside and a move higher. So you could see the shorts from here. Doesn't trigger. Now we're starting to make new highs. I'm going to look at that and say, okay, maybe there's a leg 1, possibly a leg 2 if it goes up there. We're just going to have to see what it does. Okay. So it looks like we're getting the pullback to the range, to that breakout area. So went right to it. At this point, basically a breakout bear trend. So we just want to put a line down through there. We're just waiting for hopefully one move higher and a reversal. And just, it never came. You can see how it gets one tick past this range line, gets that reversal pattern, or that reversal bar. It's not a buy yet though. Here's the lower high, but that's at the lows of our range, so you can't do nothing with that. And you can see it's like 8 o'clock, and there hasn't really been a solid setup, I would say. I'd probably be done for the day, but it's only for the video's sake. I'm still here looking for trades, but if this is what I'm seeing on the day, there would be no reason to keep going. So technically, this is a kind of a breakout pullback. We closed outside right there. We pulled back in and then closed back outside. We can see maybe this trend is going to keep going lower. Pull out. And then like here, if this fails, this is going to be a better breakout pullback in my opinion, because we have a close outside, then a close inside, then closing back outside. While on this setup, there was a close outside. It moved inside, but it never closed before reversing. So this might be a better setup for that breakout pullback. And you see how it closes right there. So I like to do it like this. I think there's going to have to be a little better way to do it, just because there's only 2 touches if you do it like that. That's not going to be the most confirmed channel. Okay. So yeah, you can see how this channel is holding prices pretty well. But we're getting a lot of these like first entry sort of trades. The next thing I'm going to do is see this as leg 1 and then see if we can get another move lower to match that. Try to get short somewhere. There's a double top right there to keep in mind, so that could be the first high. This is the lower high, but it doesn't break below. So right there, if it breaks below, that's the lower high. I don't trade the lower highs anymore, but maybe we'll get a second entry short. That's the second entry short, but it's not really a good signal bar. Prices are pretty much going sideways by this point, so we're waiting. In fact, there's a reversal pattern off right there, off this low. First entry fails, the second entry fails. It's a reversal pattern. But a lot of this is still lower, and then if anything, it's sideways. It's not bullish. So I would wait to see maybe a leg that closes above the EMA before switching to longs. Something like that. See how we're closing above now? That's a good sign. It's a better sign. See how that's holding right off this this trend channel. If we break above a bar, that's going to be a failed second entry short, or no, actually it's not. I thought this was a double bottom, but really the low is here. It looks like a double bottom, so this play will probably work the same, but it's not quite. It'll be aggressive if you take it. Nothing breaks above. Right there it breaks above, but closes back inside, so that's a sign. Okay, we don't have that reversal pattern yet that we're looking for, so we're just going to be on guard. Yeah, you see? Don't be so quick to change sentiment until you get that reversal, especially if we have a trend. Really, that's just like a breakout pullback. There's no entry because this signal bar is way too big, and then the trigger bar is way too big, and the signal is actually really bearish. So no entry on that, unfortunately. That's a double top. It's a failed second entry long. It's a little aggressive to me. It's a little aggressive to me. And it's a big signal bar. I'd say it's aggressive. It's aggressive to go short there. You get a little scalp and some pullback. So off this double top, that becomes a new high. So this is the lower high, and we're trending lower. We have a target down here, so let's see if we go to it. Like here, kind of a failed break higher. It's getting a little noisy in here, but this is the failed second entry. long. Say it's aggressive. Probably a B setup. You get the scalp. If you hold through the pullback, you're getting a runner now. And that one gives you a nice trade if you hold through that pullback. So really, there's a couple ways to look for a target on this one. Probably this being leg one. Then once we broke out and then started moving lower, that's the leg two. So this could be leg two right here. And that now that we've made a new low, I'm only looking to hold my runner. I'm not looking to add more shorts. This is kind of the no trade zone. After the break, retest low, and we've made a new low, you can only really take second entry shorts that are off the EMA if you're going to keep going short here. Because really what we're expecting is either some congestion or a reversal. So keep that in mind. And you can see on these bars right here, you get that double bottom and it starts to test this EMA again. Here it looks like a second entry short, but it's not a good setup, not a good signal bar. I would just wait it out. It never breaks below, so you don't have to worry about it. And you can see here we're in this bullish sort of like a tight channel, getting these little pause bars and then pushes up, pause bar, push up. So it's exactly what we would be looking for. There. And we're going to see if we can actually get a break below, try to go long. So none of those are breaking below. We're just getting these pause bars and a move up. See if we actually get a pullback. Don't even get the pullback. It's crazy. But you can see here we broke outside and moved to a new high. So all of these long ideas are now getting a little aggressive. We're going to expect some congestion and a reversal. Once again, pause bar, push up. That's pretty interesting. I don't see this pattern very often. Nothing broke below, just pause bars and push higher. Pretty easy to hold that swing if you were in this. That's that first break below, and then you can see you get that nice reversal pattern long, but we're broke outside and we're at a new high. It's getting too risky to take longs. And that one, see, you get that push up and it pulls right back, probably just enough to trap you. Yeah, 4-tick trap. So we're avoiding that one. Bounces off the signal bar low with another reversal pattern, but this isn't a good setup either. This bar is inside of that bar, inside of that bar. So basically prices are moving sideways and you're buying the breakout. We want to sell when it comes back down right there. See, 1 tick above, then reverses. That's what we're looking for. And then now if we can get one more push higher that reverses, we're going to try to go short on that. Right there, see right there, pushed above, then closed below. It's probably the first trade, in my opinion, that isn't super aggressive. And then obviously you have your scalp target and probably a target at these lows. That one goes a little way, but not very far. If you entered on a limit, it's actually a 4-tick fail if you enter on a limit. So that one doesn't actually work. Maybe you'll get a re-entry pattern. That one doesn't go far enough. Like that's the re-entry, but it's not a good signal bar, so you'd have to skip it. Yeah, you see how that just kind of ticked 1 tick too high before going back in the direction. It's just how it goes. But this makes a new high, So we're still looking for the pattern now. In fact, what we can do here is there's probably a channel somewhere through here. Like that's the lower high off the trend line, off the EMA. It's like a B plus setup. Not my favorite, but that's off the EMA, off the trend line, lower high, confirmed downtrend. It's probably the last trade of the day. It's 1150. Yeah, that one, you can never expect it doing all this, but it gives you way more than expected, and you go and test those lows like you thought we would. Yeah, for that higher low trade, or that lower high trade, I like it off the trend line in EMA. It's a lot of support and resistance when it turns off the lines like that. But that gets you basically to 1 o'clock. You might have been holding that to 1. There's no reason to exit. Even still, there's no reason to exit. You could probably still hold this if it wasn't for the market about to close. And I'll just tick it until it shows you your exit sign. So there's your, in here is probably your exit because you have a lower high that goes higher, then you have this bar that goes higher. So that's technically a reversal pattern, and it's going pretty sideways. It's not quite a reversal. I want to see it close. I want to see it close above, and none of those closed above. So you're still in. Let's see if we get a true reversal. So you could still be in. If we get a true reversal, yeah, so what would have happened is that there wasn't even a reason to exit, but the market closed. So you probably would have got stopped out right here. That's just the broker taking you out. But that's pretty much what I saw for the day. There's a channel off these two highs, but that's not, I mean, it's not really confirmed unless you think, this is touch 2, touch 3. It's not that strong. It doesn't really help you that much. Even when you bring it to the lows, I don't think that really, that doesn't really help you much. So really those shorter term channels did you a lot better today. Yeah, kind of a slow day. I didn't get to trade today because I had some stuff to do like real early in the morning. So it doesn't look like I missed much. Most of these trades were either pretty aggressive or not that great in the first place. So that's what I saw. I'll be back again tomorrow, of course. But until then, it's your boy Kamal Hart signing out. Peace.